This is why most people feel lost. You're not lost, but you just have too many options. When you have too many options, it can create paralysis or a type of paralysis where you actually don't know what to do now. And then this form of anxiety can come upon you because now you're just burning and wasting your energy in different places without any clear understanding or direction. So you don't know what to do or where to go because there's too many options for you. And then you can come to this point and position where you feel stuck. So then you do one thing, whether it's a sport, you get to a point in sport where you don't want to do it or you feel like you can't get through the door. Then you take up music and you feel like you get to this point where you're doing music and then you feel like you can't get into the door. Then you start writing and you feel like you can't get into the door. So you're doing all these different types of things, but there's no actual result. And now because there's so many options and you have reputations in all these different areas, you now get confused on who you are because you have built your identity based on the external thing that you're doing rather than who you are. So you are not yourself. You are a footballer or you are a writer or you're a musician, but that's not the case. You are Daniel and Daniel plays football. So, irrespective of whether the football stays in your life or not, it doesn't have impact on who you are and your values and what you stand for and how you see yourself. It's just something that's no longer in your life. And yes, it will have some form of impact, but it won't bring you to the point where you feel less than because you no longer have that thing in your life anymore. So we don't build our life based on how we perform. We don't build your identity is not based on how you perform doing things. Oh, so if I'm really good at cooking or if I'm bad at cooking, then that means that I have no value and I'm less than this person because they no, that's not the case. We all have gifts, we all have talents, and we all use them in different ways, but that is down to the direction that we're going in. Without a direction, you are making decisions with no basis because you don't even know whether you should go for that job interview because you don't have a direction for where you're going or where you want to go in life. That doesn't mean that you have everything figured out, but what it does mean is that you have a understanding of what you want to do, and that will cut majority of the options that you have because you're able to focus on something now. So when you're in this state of not understanding who you are, it creates identity pressure, and pressure brings you to a point where you're unable to make decisions and choices. It removes your ability to have clarity. And the only way that we can get clarity is from having focus. One of the main ways that we get to a point of having direction is in making decisions. So if you're somebody that cannot say no to people, you're going to struggle with having direction because you're just going to find yourself doing 17 different things a week that have no bearing on what you like or what you want to do in your future. So pressure is not the direction. So if you feel like you're under pressure, that does not mean that that's the direction that you need to go in. And just because they're pressuring you to do it doesn't mean that that's the direction and the path you have to go on relationships earlier, and we spoke on the three levels of them, and we spoke on the people that are above you, the people that are able to guide you in relation to where you want to go, the people that are on your level, the ones that can push you into the direction that you're going because they're doing the same thing so you can practice, you can train, you can learn from them, they can learn from you. And then you have the ones that strictly learn from you. You're above them. So they want to get to the point where you are now and you're able to help them, you're able to guide them. So if you're receiving pressure from places outside of those ones and they're not family members, and even those family members are pushing you into a direction that you don't want to go in, then a conversation needs to be had, an honest one. Because it could be something that is not actually negative. Maybe they want something for you that isn't what you want. But until a conversation's had, there will be no understanding. So this is what happens. When you're under pressure, it will lead to a reaction. And that's not what we want to be doing. So we've just moved ourselves away from reacting. But being put under pressure forces reaction. And anytime we are forced to react or forced to make a decision, there's never intention behind it. And the reason why intention is important is because intention has meaning behind it. So that goes into the why I want to do what I'm doing. When you're forced to do something, you might not even have a clue why you're doing it, but you're just doing it. And that has consequences. So pressure will always be short term, but it's the direction that a person has that gives them the ability to do something for a long period of time. So I want you to understand that pressure, 9 times out of 10, is not guidance. There's a big difference though. If somebody wants to be doing the thing that they're doing and you are then putting them under pressure, that's healthy.